So good morning. About 20 minutes ago, 25 minutes ago, we saw Andy Morris. I interviewed him, and then he was joined by this young gentleman, and then they went off to the public gallery. But now I've seen the gentleman return, and what I'm now going to do, I'm going to ask him about what occurred. So, could I ask your name, sir?
Yes, my name's Mo.
Mo, so if you speak up a bit more, because I haven't got a microphone on you. Normally I would put a microphone on you. So, a few moments ago, I actually saw you going off with Andy Morris to the public gallery. Now you're back. How comes you're back?
I'm back. Well, they only said that you can only get, they can only let one person in. So they ended up letting 3 family members in, which was the mother, the father, and the sister, and then after of the defendant. And they said that they could only let one close family, relative person to go inside because they don't have enough space. So I ended up giving the position to Andy Morris.
What's it like for you to actually be down here today, to actually to be at a plea and preparations hearing where 4 people have been, and I'm choosing my words carefully, there are rules we have to comply with, they have been accused of conspiracy to murder. I'm not going into the rights or wrongs if they did or if they didn't, and I'm making that clear. What's it like for you to be here today when 4 people are appearing and where they will be technically giving their plea?
This is not something that I would have wanted to actually. I shouldn't even be here for Sasha. You know, like none of us wanted this to happen to Sasha. So for me and other close family members and close relatives and her close friends that ended up attending today to come to court, it's upsetting, you know, and it hurts because we would have never wished something upon Sasha, something like this to even occur, you know. So I mean, I'm here to give my full-on support. I've been marching alongside with Sasha for over a year now since I've met her, and she was a very close person to me, and it's just upsetting. And now us as family and friends, we've come together, and we obviously just want justice. You know, we want justice for her, and we want justice for her family. So I mean, it's just a plea, but I mean, hopefully we can get a better result. You know.
Please tell Street Mike how you felt on May the 23rd after discovering that Sasha had been shot in the head in Concert Road, Peckham, after attending a party. How did you feel?
I felt apart. I felt heartbroken. I've got no words to explain it because I couldn't believe it. You know, it didn't make any sense for our very own Sasha for that to happen. It's heartbreaking. I felt like something's missing. You know, our queen has gone, and like it's unbelievable.
The family don't want to keep giving out information drip, 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 and I welcome that. Andy has said that Sasha is making progress. I don't want to go into what that means, but are you happy to learn that Sasha is making progress?
Yes, I can go along with that. Sasha is making progress, slowly, better than before. You know, a little bit better than before, and that's what we're praying for. We're praying for her to wake up as soon as possible in good health and come back to her family and her kids and everyone else.
Spencer, good morning, sir. I haven't seen you for quite a while.
Morning. Been busy, been heartbroken. Obviously, reason why we're here. So, been a tough 4 weeks. Jobs, this, and all the other commitments as well. Do you know what I mean? So, it's been tough.
So, tell me, Spencer, as you know, Sasha was shot in Concert Road on the 23rd of May at about 3 o'clock in the morning. What's it been like for you since you discovered?
Firstly, I really don't like using the word shot with someone I care about, so I use the word hurt.
Yeah.
She was hurt a few weeks ago. How has it been for me? Shocking, really shocking, depressing because of who we're here we're here in court for today, because the people who have been arrested for this are the sort of people that Sasha would have put down whatever she was doing to help him. She would have put down whatever she was doing to feed their families if their families needed feeding. She would have put down whatever she was doing to educate them if they needed educating. If she was driving, going about her business, and she saw one of these lads getting stopped on the street corner, she would stop and challenge the police on their behalf. So when you take the context of who Sasha is, what she does and what she represents, and then you marry that against the people who have done this to her, it's even more depressing, Mike. It really is more depressing.
We're now at the Central Criminal Court where 4 people are appearing via video link from Belmarsh, charged with conspiracy to murder. I'm not going into the rights or wrongs but are you happy someone is now appearing charged?
I'm very happy. What we know is 4 people were there on that day. We now have 4 people charged. So I'm content, and content for now. What I did at the very start of this whole thing, there was a lot of talk about she was targeted, about the authorities did it, about I even heard talk about the English Defence League, EDL, had something to do. All of that talk I tried to put down because we needed to get to we needed for the investigation to speed up stuff that we need to know. And we've been proven right in a way, because they got 4 people in court and 4 people were at the scene. And so we're content on that front.
It's great to hear that you are content, and it is correct that a lot of people have been speculating, and you know me, my style, it's not for me to speculate. I like to go on a fact. We know what the facts are. 4 people are now appearing. Moving on, and let's ask me more about Spencer and the Million People March in the future, if anything has been planned this year, because as you know, it is getting that, look in the camera, it is getting that time where, so let's go back to yourself, Spencer. This was a question about the Million People March. And as you know, last year you had a very, very successful march on, I think it was Bank Holiday Sunday or Monday. Bank Holiday Monday. Are you planning anything this year? Because even last... Yeah, see, even you, I said Sunday or Monday.
Bank Holiday Sunday, you're right, sorry. It was the 30th of August. Yeah.
So are you planning anything this year? Because, you know, I looked back on a video yesterday and I saw the one when you was having a robust debate with the key officer about, you remember, so what plans do you have?
Well, you know what, at the moment, all plans in that nature have to be put aside. All plans in that area have to be put aside. As you know, Sasha's a big part of what we did. Sasha helped it all in a huge way to come together. Sasha marshalled the day. Yeah, that day we called her our soldier queen, our warrior queen, because she marshalled the day. And trying to put anything on without her is unimaginable. It's totally unimaginable. I'll be honest with you, we're keeping an eye on everything that's going on. The new laws the government's bringing in, who to address our protest at. We're keeping an eye on everything. However, like I said, at this present time, it's all about pausing for a second, using all our energy in getting our queen back on her feet. Once that's achieved, if it means we miss out on 2021 doing anything until she's good again to come back in 2022, so be it. There's no way we're putting anything on without Sasha. You know, so that's the long or short answer to your question. We're not on that tip right now. All we're thinking about is getting Sasha better. It's a bit like going to war without your general, without one of your generals. That won't be the right time to attack the enemy, would it? You'd be waiting for your general to get better. You know what I mean? She is one of our generals, no doubt. She's one of the youngest in the crew, but if not the youngest in the crew, but you know how she is. So we're not looking at attacking anything at the moment until she gets better.
Spencer, thank you very much for giving Street Mike this interview. How's the YouTube channel going?
YouTube channel's going great. Sign up. It's called The Full 100. The Full 100 on YouTube. You asked me, so.
Oh, do you have to use the opportunity to publicise?
Okay, it's getting okay. I've got a few videos uploaded in dedication, dedicated to Sasha. I've got a few videos up there for guys who want to go and see what that's like. So that's in dedication to Sasha. Sasha was a big part of the evolution of that channel as well.
So in a few moments we'll be getting an update from Sasha's PA, Andy Morris, who has just come out of the Central Criminal Court. So Andy, good morning and thank you very much. You've just come out of the Central Criminal Court where 4 people accused of the conspiracy to murder Sasha Johnson appeared via video link. Could you possibly tell Street Mike what occurred?
So there's a lot to understand, but they were explaining that there are various stages in this case that have got to be observed, and the most significant is that they've set it down. I mean, it's going to be public record, so I might as well just put it out. So the 5th of November, there will be a case management hearing before this court, unless it's deemed that it should go to another court, but it sounds like it is going to be at this court. So on the 5th of November, they will manage the case and they'll set it down for trial, because there are considerations I didn't think about in this case, and that is that there are custody time limits, and those custody time limits run out for one defendant in January and the other 3 defendants in February. So it has to be set down for trial, and my understanding from what the judge was indicating to the prosecutor and the counsel for the defendants is that they will set down a 6-week trial on the 5th of November. So at that case management hearing, they will decide what best fits in terms of the custody time limit, and then we'll go from there. I have to say I was a bit disappointed to go into the court, and I mean there are some of us that have appeared here for Sasha and in relation to the family, but not specifically representing the family per se. And the amount of people that were allowed in was so restricted. There were 4 people in the court. So there were 3 people for the defendants, and then myself. I was allowed to go in, as somebody here for Sasha. The point I'm trying to make is this: for justice to be done, it has to be seen to be done. And if people want to be able to feel a part of the proceedings, then they need to be allowed into court to observe those proceedings. Because I've come out here now to give your viewers and my friends here what is effectively second-hand information. And yes, it will be reported at some point, but that's neither here nor there. If people want to come and be involved in court to see it themselves, they need to be allowed to do that. And I just think that it's such a shame. I'm privileged that I was allowed to be able to go in, but it shouldn't be the case in legal situations. I mean, access to justice, has to be, given on all levels, and that has to be the case. It can't be the norm that we only allow a select number of people in based on, somebody's, on a whim. I've heard some stuff which is encouraging, just in the sense, because my concern about this was that it's all happened very quickly. I have no issue with, people, if they're guilty, being arrested very quickly and being brought to book. I have no issue with that, but the evidence has to be correct. I'm now learning. I remember reading that there was CCTV evidence in this case. That's now been confirmed because it was mentioned in court. There are various bits and pieces that are going to be disclosed to the defence by the prosecution. If this is a cut and shut case, fine. But if it's not, what I'd hate to see, to be quite honest with you, is somebody get away with committing this crime because somebody didn't do their job properly. Yeah, do you know what? By the sounds of it, it sounds to me like the prosecution have a lot of evidence, and it sounds like that evidence still is yet to get into the hands of the defence so that they can mount whatever their defence is going to look like. I would constantly appeal to people that if they have any information, give it. Please give it, because this stuff cannot be allowed to go unchallenged. It can't. We can't sit here and be going around shooting people and thinking that that's okay, and it doesn't matter, the colour of people's skin, because people want to make it a black and a white thing. It's not about black and white, because, guns and violence know no colour. They have no bounds. When we were talking about a knife crime epidemic in Glasgow, which is predominantly white, no one was saying that was white on white violence. So let's get away from this black on black crime. The fact is, a woman, a mother, and an activist is laying in hospital having been shot.
We've now got Mo, We've got Spencer and we've got Andy. So Mo, tell me how you're feeling now that you found out from Andy exactly what has occurred in the court today.
Well, to be
Hold
honest,
the microphone, hold the microphone.
all right, cheers, thank you. Well, to be honest, the court date is on the 5th of November, so I mean we just have to see until then, and what evidence they actually have against these people, and hoping that at the end of the day there is some justice and it can be dealt with as soon as possible. That's what we're hoping for, and at the same time, hopefully Sasha would have recovered by then, and hopefully she can be here as well to have her say and have her statement taken down of the whole incident that occurred, you know, and yeah.
Spencer, is there anything that you would like to add?
Just that, obviously, Andy's told us that they are trying to get the case dismissed. Knowing how this stuff works, they're always going to attempt to try and get the case dismissed. That's standard. But it's nothing that we're worried about. The court process will take its process, and we'll take it from there. But obviously, you know, we wait and see what happens on in November 25th, right? No, 5th. November the 5th. So we wait and see what happens.
There's going to be fireworks on that day.
We'll wait and see what happens. But yeah, Andy.
And in closing, Andy?
Do you know what? I think I've said all I need to say. I'd still encourage people, you know, if you have information, pass the information. I would encourage people to, you know, support the GoFundMe. Let's not forget about the GoFundMe that's out there, that's set up by Marvina Newton. And yeah, and that's really it. We'll see what happens on November the 5th.
Guys, if you're watching this, go to GoFundMe, search for Sasha Johnson's GoFundMe page, and please help us help her young sons. Yeah. So thanks, guys.
Big up Street Mike.
Big up Street Mike, long time.